Welcome to the Through the Table podcast with Tom, Rick, Russ, JL, and Brian. Thank you for tuning in to part 3 of Through the Table podcast number 17. Enjoy the show.
They still haven't put out that Icons thing on the network.
I was thinking about that.
Oh, really?
Yep. Still not out.
What about the one with what was it, the Stone Cold one that they also didn't put out on time? I can't remember.
That was the Nash one. Yeah, the Nash one's out.
They put that one out? Okay.
Where you get wrecked on red wine.
Right.
But the broken skull with Cena isn't out.
That was supposed to be out around SummerSlam, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He did one with Cena? I didn't even know he did one with Cena.
I didn't either.
Yeah, it was supposed to come on, and then they didn't put it out.
It's like I froze.
Who froze?
Oh, Brian froze.
My camera for some reason.
Uh-oh.
I don't remember that Cena one. I thought it was Nash, and then I thought the next one after Nash was Rollins, which is this Sunday.
I'm not excited about the Rollins one.
No, I don't really like when it's like the current guys. You know, I mean, it's not as good. I'm sure they might have a good story to tell, but like the Godfather one was amazing.
Yep.
Trying to think what else was it. Like the Nash one was good. I like the Nash one. But like the like Bailey and Sasha Banks, it's like, yeah, they're good, but it's okay. It's like, oh, tell me about how you got into the business. It's like, well, 6 weeks ago, you know what I mean? Like they're all like, Orton. Oh, okay, the Orton one was all right, but it's not like he's gonna be like, yeah, that time I bag, and you know what I mean? Like, so it's I feel like the older guys that don't have anything to lose, Godfather's just like, I'm smoking mad weed all the time. It's great. You know what I mean? Just it's. I don't know. It's weird.
No, and I'm with you. The older ones are so much better because you get more stories.
Right.
The new ones, it's like everything has either been on the network or whatever. You kind of see more of the behind the scenes stuff with them. So what are you telling? Plus, I love like Godfather stories about like them hanging out and all this other stuff. That was hilarious, and the way he told it was great. What's Seth Rollins going to tell us? Oh, I didn't pull out one night. We lost the women's champion for a year. Who cares?
Right.
He's a good worker. I think he's a phenomenal worker. His matches with Edge lately have been some of the best he's ever had.
Yeah.
But he is freaking boring to me. He might as well be Bob Backlund. Like, there's nothing about Seth Rollins outside of the ring that's like, oh my God, I got to watch what he's going to do. He might say something. He's boring. He was more
evil Bob Backlund is great though.
I'm with you on that too. Like, I feel like even when he was Tyler Black and the whole Ring of Honor, it's like he was a great worker, put on entertaining matches,
right?
But never once did I buy a ticket to go see Tyler Black.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's just, he's. I can't even say he's like a good hit. And he's main event caliber matches, but like you said, his interviews leave something to be desired.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, I guess you could always throw him in the world title picture if needed. But.
And I said he's a good worker. He's got some great matches. But then you think of he destroyed Finn Balor's push. He, as I've already said, he destroyed a gigantic push. And of course, and as a result, by the way, that destroyed Bianca Belair's push, because when Becky was able to come back, she screwed over Belair.
Yes.
So the result of Seth Rollins not knowing how to pull out is really ruining the current product.
Yeah.
Remember, Seth, when you start to feel it's time to start moving.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I don't know where to go from there.
I kind of killed that one.
So what do you think about that American Gladiators thing, Russ?
Oh,
I think it's pretty cool, actually. I think it might actually be something fun. I mean, American Gladiators, the original one was great, and then the one that they tried to do with Hogan, I kind of remember it. I was excited for it to come back. I think it'll be a good idea though, if they use the WWE superstars to
It says
be
that
the Gladiators.
they are going to. Rick and I were talking before you guys signed on if they're going to use like legitimate main event guys or if it's like Mustafa Ali's going to show up
Yeah.
every week. You know, like
It-
who's going to be
it-
the Gladiators is the question. You know.
Right. It's going to be interesting because like they could do a host of things where like they use big guys, but like you don't want to get them to get injured. You know, like,
No, definitely not.
right. That's what I was just gonna say. You definitely don't want your top guys doing that. But like, if you had like I mean, he's not on the roster anymore, but like a Zack Ryder or a Mojo Rowley, throw him on
Mhm.
American Gladiators because they're not, you know what I mean? If they're not doing anything on Raw or SmackDown, you know,
And then
like
when-
what's Braun Strowman doing? Sign him back up, throw him on American Gladiators, and watch him toss around little like jamokes. You know, just
That's true. Bring up the NXT guys that they don't want to
You
use
know?
anymore. Put Gargano out there, and he's one of your guys now.
yeah.
Be interesting. Maybe they just rotate a bunch of different people in there. I don't know.
Tell me, Braun Breaker wouldn't be good on a American Gladiators.
but
Guy
what they
looks like
could
he's
do,
gonna kill somebody at some point.
That's true.
what they could do too is like if they want a big name, they could have like Roman Reigns at the final thing where he's just like shooting something at players, like shooting tennis balls or somebody, and not physically like being
Oh, sure, yeah.
like
Mhm.
tackling or anything like that.
Have Seth Rollins shooting things at people too.
Like tennis balls.
The only problem with that is that now you've got to protect. If you say you have Reigns at the end, you have to protect him
Yep.
with that gimmick, that head of the table gimmick. Do you want some no-name jabroni who just happens to be on American Gladiators beat your world champion, the head
True.
of the table?
Right. Yeah, you probably don't
I
want
mean, it's
that to happen.
WWE, so they won't think of stuff like that because WWE and their TV writers and not actual wrestling fans who actually pay attention to the product.
That's very
So
true.
who knows?
Yeah. It just, who knows, maybe they start out with a few, bigger names and then eventually gets down to all the main event guys. That's, Grand Metalik, hey, we got a job for you now. If you want to leave, here you go. Go to the Gladiators. Who knows?
Wasn't there somebody else that just got released too? Because
Lindsay Dorado, his partner, is, I guess, supposedly asked for it today as well.
oh no kidding.
They
No,
haven't
those-
used them. They've been to the last like 7 shows for Raw.
Right. They
And-
threw him on. Was it they threw him on that tag gauntlet from
That's
a
it.
couple weeks ago?
Yeah. Besides that, they've been there and they've been just sitting in catering. Besides that, they don't even get on main event or anything. They've been just
And
they
must be
show up
tired
and
of
do
seeing Nia
nothing.
Jax.
They have to get there first, so she can't eat all the food. Well, now no one will have to see her for a while.
Thank God. Best news of the week, folks. Best news of the week. That fat fart. I try to slow it down so it's easier for you to edit.
That's fine. Some shows are very difficult and some are no problem.
Best news of the week, though. When I saw that, I couldn't have been happier. Best thing the WWE's done in a long time. Someone injured her.
It happened in
So
the match?
I would say I wonder when they found out that it happened, because I mean you go from beating Charlotte Flair to getting pretty much a stretcher job within the span of what 4 weeks.
I'll tell you how it happened. She sat on her couch and it broke. There it is. I love looking at those faces, Rick. I watched that one circle around and then kind of landed.
I got it after a minute.
Oh, I got it.
Inside joke. Oh,
It's real inside.
oh goodness.
Oh,
You're on your game tonight, Tom.
am I though? Oh, anybody catch the? I know we're a couple of weeks past it, but anyone catch the WWE 9/11 special?
I haven't been able to see it yet.
I started it, but then I was with interns, so things went awry.
Yes, insurance stops many things from happening you want to.
I was trapped on the elliptical, so I had no choice but to start it and finish it. Luckily, it was only about 45 minutes long. Wow, what a piece of self-centered, egotistical, propaganda-driven drivel this thing was. Look at me. We put on a show. Oh, and you know what? They didn't even have the balls to actually show the planes hitting the towers. They edited that out and just showed flames coming out because none of us know what happened that day. And oh my God, well, should we put on a show? Should we didn't? Well, we decided the best thing to do was to put on a show to entertain people. You weren't saving the world. You weren't out there trying to find bodies at ground zero. You put on a goddamn show in Texas. No one was attacking Texas. No one was showing up at Texas. You put on a wrestling show. Stop with this. Look at what we did. We were the first ones back. You were the first ones back because Vince was going to lose a ton of money if he didn't air a show that Friday night or whatever the hell night it was back 20 years ago. Stop with this. Oh, we did so much good. Did you? Did you really? Did you do a lot of good, Stephanie? You fake. Not even going to say because I don't want Brian to have to edit it. This thing was the worst piece of crap I've ever seen. And you know what? I complained last week about how they didn't even acknowledge Zelina Vega on the anniversary of her own father dying in 9/11. They didn't even bring her up in this show. She's someone that was affected by this whole tragedy. She's on your roster. Not a mention.
Well, was she when they made this? Was she possibly at the time when she was fired?
Maybe not. I don't know. But to be honest with you, if you watch the whole thing, she wouldn't have fit in this self-serving agenda. I mean, we're hearing Paul Heyman talking about how a stagehand is crying in the corner, just crying, saying, "We're going to get through this, aren't we?" I'm sure that actually happened. I'm sure stagehand's crying hysterically in the corner. Stephanie trying to make it all about her. I know people in New York. My mother was in New York. New York's a big, and New York City is a big ass city.
Yeah, very big.
The narcissistic assholes who make everything about themselves. Me, I'm affected. It's like everybody who comments, who tweets, who posts something when a celebrity dies. Did you know them? Did you know this person personally? This guy might have been an asshole. Oh, but you saw him on a TV show. So congratulations. You're sad now because your great friend died that you've never met or hung out with or been in the same goddamn location with them. Same thing that this whole thing did. 45 minutes of look at me. We put on a show. Lillian Garcia. I'm sorry. I just had one more thing. Lillian Garcia coming out and I was nervous to sing and The Rock said, "You got this, kid." And I was able to do it. Sorry. No, go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch it. I just had a feeling that it was going to be. I mean, what else could it be?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just pretty much everything that they put on the network. It's just their narrative that it's, whether it's, and it's always self-serving. You know what I mean? It's never.
Look, when they do the tribute
You
to
know.
the troops crap. Oh, Vince makes a trip down there and shakes a few hands, and they have a laugh, and then they
He
run
has an
home and
army
don't even
helmet.
think about it again. Yep.
Yeah.
Every year, it's the same crap with that.
You know what
Awful.
the problem is? There are people who buy into this. There's people who buy into this propaganda. These Chef Boyardee ravioli eaten out of the can, freaking half-wits are buying into this hook, line, and sinker, and they're convinced that AEW is a bad product because it's not WWE. Well, they're posting on Reddit or some stupid shit. There's people actually buy into this that think that the WWE can do no wrong. Are you serious right now?
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize, like, we're in cancel culture? Ric Flair is fighting for his professional life right now. They want to cancel John Cena. Can we go back 30 years ago and watch a white man named the one-man gang get turned into a black man because a bunch of tribesmen came out in the streets of New York City blasting music and turn him into Hakeem, the African Dream, from the deepest, darkest jungles of Africa, might I add, is where he was built from. Why aren't we throwing that out there? Look at that blatant racism. What about taking Tony Atlas, who couldn't find a cell phone, and making him the African bushman, Saba Simba?
Saba Simba. Oh, God.
To be fair, though, Jive Soul Bro was a kick-ass theme.
That was awesome.
Do you know, I thought about this the other day, how I did not have that number one in the theme song top 10 is beyond me, because I love that song.
Nobody.
That and how Slick would dance to it was the greatest.
Best part about that song was when he was talking about the girl that was 7 feet tall, and I don't know where he goes, now that's a big woman. I could just rewind and play. Slick was a pimp.
Oh, he totally was.
He was an old school New York pimp.
Oh, yeah.
And then he became born again in real life, and he became the Reverend Slick. Reverend Slick didn't work out as well as the pimp Slick.
No, not at all.
His character was based off of Frank Lucas.
Was it?
Yeah, Vince told him to study Frank Lucas, but study Frank Lucas and study the blaxploitation movies that portrayed pimps as these colorful, like jive talking characters.
Yep.
But also to have like a sense of Frank Lucas involved in it. He was more on the blaxploitation point of it, but right. I don't know why I was obsessed with Slick for a while, so I learned all that.
Slick was the man back in the day.
Was. Loved Slick.
Oh, yeah, he was one of my favorites.
But again, we're in cancel culture and everything, and
yep.
You know, but the propaganda of this video, it's just, you weren't out there finding people's loved ones. You weren't out there picking up arms against the people who did this. You literally put on a show. You don't see, you think of the shows that were on the air 20 years ago, you don't see the cast of ER or, Friends or Seinfeld have documentaries like, we didn't know what to do. And Jerry was in the corner crying hysterically saying, we're going to get through this.
They might, they haven't. And I don't know if Saturday Night Live has, but I could possibly see Saturday Night Live doing it because there was that big deal when Saturday Night Live came back on and can we do comedy and that kind of.
But that makes sense, and I think they did. Russ,
totally.
I think they did. They had a 9/11 behind the scenes type of special, but that makes sense because they're living and working in the city.
Right. Exactly.
They're affected by that. I get it. WWE is considered New York and the territory aspect of things. Paulie is from New York. I get that. Come on. You're in Texas. You're not involved. None of you, except for now. Now you have someone on the roster that was affected.
Yep.
That should be highlighted. That should be your 9/11 tribute video that you put together. Selena Vega's life as a result of what happened. Not, look at us, we put on a show. The stagehand's crying in the corner. Nobody gives a. This guy's crying hysterically. Get it together, sir. You have a job to do. Sorry. The look on Rick's faces. It's just fantastic.
The only face you can see at the moment.
Really
I didn't drive, baby.
Rick's my lone audience member today.
Well, they should have added, even if they
Right.
taped it while, before Zelina Vega was gone and they did it when she wasn't around, they should have added it in there. It's not hard to edit something. I know how to do that.
Right.
They
They have
could
like a
easily have done
multi-
something that would have made more sense. Put it at the end.
Well, not for nothing. If they can whip out a pay-per-view video, like highlight video package 30 seconds after the pay-per-view is over, there's no reason they couldn't be like, hey, this girl on our roster, her whole life is changed because of this, and this is how she dealt with it. This is how
Right.
she's dealing
Mhm.
with it. But you know what I mean? Like, the fact that they couldn't, you know what I mean? They
You
couldn't
could
even,
easily add in a 5-minute piece of that right at the end.
Right.
There's no reason why you couldn't. That's just laziness.
And it didn't have to be released right away. They could have waited and had the film footage of her reading the names this year.
Oh, sure. Right.
And then do the tribute to her dad. That would have been
That would have been great. Yep.
watching moment.
Mhm.
Because if you didn't happen to stumble upon, and it's a Saturday morning, who the hell's watching 9/11 tribute stuff that day on a Saturday morning? It's gorgeous as hell out this year too. Who's watching that? So unless you stumbled upon it like I did, just
Exactly.
randomly,
Mhm.
how are you gonna know? Because again, these hardcore dimwits who have like a Chicago Bulls sweatshirt on, but yet for some reason the back of it is the Miami Marlins on the back of it. They have two different sports on it while they're eating their cans of raviolis. They have no idea these things happen.
No. Thank you for tuning into part 3 of Through the Table podcast, number 17. Part 4 will be available very shortly. Thank you.